And then I've got this thing, and I've taken the cap off,
Yeah.
and I've stuck the thing up my arse, you know, and I'm trying to squeeze this glycerine into my arse, and I'm in such pain, my guts are fucking killing me. They really are.
Hello, I'm Leo Kerr. This is Shit Stories, the podcast where we talk to people about funny or notable shits that they've done. Today I'm talking to Andy Zapp, who's done some shits.
Yes, I have. No, yes, I had. Do I look at the camera, Leo, or do I look at you?
Look wherever you feels comfortable.
Oh, right.
Look at me. That's what they do in Wogan. Although I don't think Wogan's ever asked anybody to tell them the story about the time they did the massive shit. You did a massive shit.
I did. Yeah, I did indeed. I'll continue now then. Yes, okay.
You haven't actually started.
Yeah, well, I have.
All right. Well.
What?
When did you start?
Well, I just started. When I've started anyway. So
right.
Okay. Cool. It was a long time, long time ago. This was about. Let me think. It must have been about 30 years ago, and I was. So
you're about your late 50s. Is it?
Yes,
Am I
thank
right?
you. All right. Oh, get some in, doesn't he? No, I was a bit younger than that. I was. How old was I? No, this was about. Yes, it was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was using heroin.
Right. Yeah.
And when you use heroin, like, you get bunged up.
It messes up with your guts. Most drugs mess with your guts. Some of them have a laxative effect, and some of them, like heroin and other opiates, have the opposite effect.
Constipative.
The constipative
effect.
And so what happened with this?
So yeah, well, I've been using heroin for years by then, but you know, I hadn't had a shit for about 2 weeks, Leo.
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Oh my God!
It sounds so sincere.
Oh, no, that's a long time.
That's 2 weeks without a shit, yeah. Right? So I went and saw my chemist friend, Mr. He was called Mr. Mac, and he was on Shaftesbury Avenue, and he was one of the chemists in one of the chemist shops that I used. And
the chemist, did you have a good relationship with the chemist?
Yeah, fantastic.
So they'd sort you out with prescriptions for your drugs and all sorts. Yeah, so it wasn't like these days where you've got to like sort of go to illegal dealers or whatever.
No, I had doctors on Harley Street. And all over London, really.
Amazing. Like dealing out sort of what sort of stuff? Diamorphine or
diamorphine, 5-septone amps, Ritalin, Tuinal,
blimey,
Nebutol. Yeah, well, it was easier. It feels quite funny, really, trying to be serious but you're right. It was interesting times, really.
Yeah.
Because in the 60s, you could get anything you wanted, really.
Yeah, and I suppose that'd be healthier for the user as well, because you're not getting this, black market stuff.
All the cut stuff.
Yeah,
it was good. What I liked about it, because you'd get it in a nice little box, and it would tell you what it was, like diamorphine, or it would say, whatever it was. But it always came in a nice box, and it was wrapped up. And it had a skull and crossbones on it. It had poison written on it.
Right. So you knew it was good stuff.
Yeah. So there I was, and then I hadn't had a shit for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because the heroin would constipate you, and then it feels quite unnatural talking like this, but So there I was gagging for a shit. I was really gagging for a shit. So I went to see Mr. Mac, who was this chemist that we just mentioned. He was a lovely fella, and he would sort us out. Actually, he would sort us out with antibiotics if we got abscesses or from injecting. So he was he was a right nice bloke, and he gave me this industrial sized laxative.
Right. And when you say industrial size, what was it, like a jar of?
It was like came in a big pouch. It was like a pouch about that big, and it was filled with this sort of glycerine But he said it was very strong. He said it's really strong. He said, this will shift it.
And what do you do with it? Do you eat it or do you?
No, it was like a plastic pouch like that, and it had a little nozzle on the end of it with a cap on it, right? So I've nicked it out of his hands, and I was so grateful. And I've got it, and I'm running down the road, and I've run into this pub. I forget the name of the pub. It was on Shaftesbury Avenue.
You couldn't wait to get home.
No, I couldn't wait to get in this. I was dying for a macca, like, honestly. And I've got this thing, And I was dying, Leo, for this crap. And I've burst into this pub and I've gone to the toilet. I've opened the door and I've got in there, and then there isn't a lock on the door. So like, I'm sort of, I've pulled my trousers down and I've got sort of 1 foot holding the door closed. And then, and then I've got this thing, and I've taken the cap off, and I've stuck the thing up my arse, and I'm trying to squeeze this glycerine into my arse, and I'm in such pain, my guts are fucking killing me. They really are. I was totally bunged up, and I was really in pain, ladies.
2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks worth of macca in there,
Yeah.
And I'm squeezing it, it wouldn't go in, so I've pulled it out, and the nozzle's all covered in shit now, and I've got my 1 foot on the thing, I've got my trousers down, and I've examined it, and there's another little bit on it that you're supposed to cut off with a knife. Right. So I've kind of got a bit of toilet paper and wiped it off and bit it off, and I've bit it off.
Amazing.
And then I've got, oh great, and then I've stuck it back up my arse. I've squeezed about 2 litres of this glycerine and stuff into my arse. And I could feel it, and you could hear it. It was like it was percolating. It would percolate,
like gurgling.
Blah, 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 blah. And it was gurgling away, and then.
Did you start getting cramps?
Yeah, but it was nice cramps. So
right, yeah.
You could feel, and then, poor fucking hell, and I could feel it, and then, and I've squeezed one out, and it was the size. It was like a cross between an Easter egg. It was kind of like that. It was that big, and it was like an Easter. And then when it flew out of my arse, what was so funny about it? So I was standing there like that, and it's flown out of my arse. And when it hit the porcelain, it went donk.
It's that silly.
And then it just filled up the hole. So, and it was just there, and I put a bit of toilet paper. I tried to push it in, I couldn't. I just pulled the chain, and I fucked off and left it for the cleaner. And that was it.
Man,
that was it.
I'll be waiting for you at the pearly gates.
Yeah, it'll kind of like it'll be like Aidan Andrews.
Andy
I'm
Zapp.
the cleaner. I'm the cleaner. Yeah. Oh fuck it was. But when it came out, it was such a relief.
Yeah. No wonder you didn't want to do that at home.
Well, no, I couldn't wait to get home. I didn't have an home anyway.
Yeah. Right.
Lived in a skip.
Right. Jeez.